Phil Bodkin is still without a time, currently in the first corner as we count down to 56 minutes remaining in this practice session. Adam T is still searching for a lap time, currently navigating the Casio triangle with 56 minutes and 27 seconds left on the clock.
This early in practice, it's all about getting a feel for the car and the circuit. I always use these first few laps to scrub in the tires and make sure the initial balance was there.
Thomas Kruger Dorado is yet to post a lap time as we tick down to 56 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in this practice session.
This early phase is crucial for the team as well. They'll be looking at the data from these initial out laps, checking systems and making sure everything is aligned before pushing for a flying lap. I remember always wanting that first proper red on the car.
Phil Bodkin is still without a lap time, currently through the challenging spoon curve with under 56 minutes left of practice. Thomas Kruger Dorado is still without a time, making their way through the last curve with 55 minutes and 7 seconds remaining.
That last curve is tricky, especially on cold tires. You're trying to carry speed onto the main straight, but also making sure you don't overcook it. It's a real balancing act when you're just getting started in a session.
Jamie Price is still without a lap time, currently navigating the anti-bank curve with 54 minutes and 35 seconds left in practice. Thomas Kruger Dorado remains without a lap time as we approach 54 minutes remaining in the session.
It's not unusual to see some drivers take their time to get out and set a lap. Sometimes it's a systems check, sometimes the team is making a last-minute adjustment. I always preferred to get out early, but every driver and team has their own rhythm. Adam T still hasn't set a time, just under 53 minutes remain in this practice session. And Thomas Kruger Dorado finally on the board, straight into P1 with a 149.243. That's a strong opening lap.
Adam T is still without a lap time, currently navigating the snake section of the circuit with 51 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in practice.
The snake can really show you how well the car is balanced. It's a series of quick direction changes, and if the car isn't responding quickly, you lose a lot of time there. It demands precision.
Thomas Kruger Dorado has been bumped down to P2, their best time still a 1:49.243. Jamie Price leaps to the top of the leaderboard. A 1:48.029 puts them P1, currently in the Dunlop section.
That's a strong marker to lay down so early in the session. Getting a clean lap in quickly gives the team valuable data right away, and it's a confidence boost for the driver too. Dunlop is a high-speed entry, so getting that right shows good car stability.
Thomas Kruger Dorado holds on to P2 with that 1:49.243, 50 minutes and 19 seconds still on the clock.
They'll be looking at the sector times now, seeing where they lost out to Price. Even in practice, every hundredth counts as they fine-tune the setup.
Nigel Walters is yet to post a time, currently through Degner 2 as we approach 49 minutes and 47 seconds remaining.
Degner 2 is a tricky one. It's quite blind on entry, and you're carrying a lot of speed through it. I always found getting the braking point just right there was crucial to setting up the exit onto the next straight.
Adam Tiaz is on the board. A 1:50.478 puts them into P3, a solid start for them.
Good to see Tiaz get a time in. Sometimes it takes a little longer to feel comfortable, especially if the car isn't behaving exactly as expected. Now they have a baseline to work from.
Nigel Walters still without a registered lap time, 48 minutes and 42 seconds left in the session. Thomas Kruger Dorado improves their time, a 1:49.148, still in P2, but closing the gap to Price.
That's a good step. They're finding more pace, bit by bit. That's what practice is all about, chipping away at the lap time as you understand the car and track conditions better. It's a constant process of refinement.
Jamie Price still comfortably in P1 with that 148.029, currently negotiating Degner 2. Thomas Kruger Dorado holds P2 with a 149.148, currently in the Dunlop section of the circuit.
They'll be trying to extract every ounce of performance in these laps, really pushing the limits of the car and the tires. This part of the track is incredibly fast, so commitment is key.
Niall Gagan still waiting to set a lap time as we hit 45 minutes and 30 seconds remaining.
It's always a question for the team if a car hasn't been out yet. Are they dealing with a minor issue, or just waiting for the track to rubber in a bit more? There's a strategy to everything.
Thomas Kruger Dorado in P2, 149.148, currently making their way through the Casio triangle. Jamie Price still on top with that 148.029, over 44 minutes still to run.
They've established a good baseline early. Now it's about making subtle changes, perhaps testing different wing angles or suspension settings to optimize for qualifying in the race.
Niall Gagan still without a lap time, now navigating Degner 2. Jamie Price still leads the way with their 148.029, now in the Casio triangle. Nigel Walters yet to register a lap time, currently in Degner 2 as the clock continues to count down. Thomas Kruger Dorado still P2, 149.148, currently in the snake section.
They'll be pushing hard through here. The snake is a real test of chassis balance and driver rhythm. Getting it right can gain you significant time.
Niall Gagan still hasn't posted a time, making their way through Degner 2. Nigel Walters without a time, now navigating the anti-bank curve with 41 minutes and 58 seconds left. Niall Gagan still waiting to set a lap time as we dip under 41.5 minutes. And a new leader, Alex Udale goes P1 with a blistering 146.580. That's a significant improvement. Nigel Walber's still without a time, currently in the first corner as we approach 40 minutes remaining.
They're definitely taking their time getting up to speed. Sometimes it's a very cautious initial run, just checking everything before they push hard. It can be frustrating though, you just want to get a time on the board.
Alex Udale maintains P1, that 146.580 proving to be quite the benchmark at this stage of the session.
That's a very strong lap, especially for practice. They've found a good balance very quickly. It puts the pressure on the rest of the field to find that kind of pace.
Nigel Walber's still no time, now in the spoon curve, with 39 minutes and 18 seconds to go. Jareth Hallam on the board, a 148.793 puts them into P4, currently through the last curve. Thomas Kruger Dorado improves again, a 148.623 moves them up to P3, currently in the 200R section.
They're really building into this session, steadily improving their times. The 200R is flat out, so it's all about car stability and confidence through there. A good run shows they're getting comfortable.
Walber's finally on the board, a 151.981 puts them into P7, currently in the Dunlop section.
There it is. Sometimes it takes a few laps to really get a feel for the track and the car on a fresh set of tires. Now they have a baseline, they can start pushing and finding more time.
Niall Gagan posts a 149.727, good enough for P5, currently in the first corner. Elliot Norton is still waiting to put a time on the board as we hit exactly 37 minutes left in practice.
We're seeing quite a few drivers take their time to get a lap in today. It means there's still a lot of potential for the leaderboard to change quite dramatically as the session progresses.
Gagan in P5, 149.727, currently in the spoon curve.
They'll be looking to shave off time, especially through high-speed corners like Spoon. It requires precision and absolute commitment to carry maximum speed.
Jareth Hallam holds P4 with their 148.793 as the clock counts down. Nigel Walters improves their time, a 150.830, still in P7, now through the spoon curve. Niall Gagan finds more pace. A 149.492 keeps them in P5, but they're closing the gap. Adam Tias improves to a 150.232, moving up to P6, currently in the hairpin. Thomas Kruger Dorado holds P4 with that 148.623 as the session progresses. Nigel Walters remains in P7 with their 150.830, currently on the backstretch. Thomas Kruger Dorado still P4, 148.623, now in the last curve.
They're probably doing a longer run now, checking tire degradation and how the car handles with a bit more fuel. Practice isn't just about single lap pace, it's about race preparation too.
Elliot Norton straight into P4 with a 148.403. What a first flying lap from them, currently through the Dunlop section. Niall Gagan drops to P6 with their 149.492, currently in the Dunlop section. Thomas Kruger Dorado falls to P5 with that 148.623, currently in the screen curve.
The times are starting to tumble now as more drivers find their rhythm and the truck rubbers in. It's a constant battle for position even in practice.
Jamie Price improves their time to a 147.850, moving up to P2, now in the Casio triangle. Alex Udale still in P1 with that impressive 146.580, currently through the hairpin. Elliot Norton drops to P5 with their 148.403, now in the first corner.
They're still looking good, but the field is definitely getting faster. It's about finding those last few tenths now. That's where the real work happens in practice.
Dominic Faubourg still without a lap time, navigating the high-speed 130R section, with 29 minutes and 16 seconds remaining.
130R is one of those corners that separates the brave from the truly committed. You have to have absolute faith in your car and yourself to take that flag. It's exhilarating when you get it right.
Nigel Walters falls to P8, their best time a 150.830, currently in the Dunlop section. Nick Edwards yet to set a time, currently in the Dunlop section with 28 minutes and 12 seconds remaining. Dominic Faubourg still without a lap time, now through the screen curve. Is yet to push the lap time as we tick down to 27 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in this practice session.
It's getting late in the session for some of these drivers to not have a time on the board. Perhaps they're planning a very late push, or maybe there's been an issue in the garage. I always felt more comfortable getting a banter lap than early.
Alex Udale still holds P1, that 146.580 continues to lead the field. Elliot Norton improves, a 147.858, moving them up to P4, currently in the first corner.
That's a significant improvement. They've found a lot of pace in that lap. It's all about putting it together consistently now.
Thomas Kruger Dorado jumps up to P3, a 147.822, currently in the first corner. Fantastic lap. Jareth Hallam improves their time, a 148.216 puts them into P5, currently through the last curve.
They're really pushing now. That last curve is absolutely key to carrying speed onto the main straight and starting the next lap well. Every bit of improvement there makes a difference.
Nigel Walters falls further down to P10 with their 150.830, now in the Casio triangle. Price improves again, a 147.721, solidifying P2, currently in the Casio triangle. Thomas Kruger Dorado holds P3 with that 147.822 as the session continues. Mac McFarquhar enters the top 6. A 149.385 puts them into P6, currently on the backstretch. Alex Udale still setting the pace in P1 with that 146.580, now on the backstretch.
They're really looking comfortable out there. That consistency is exactly what you want to see from a driver in practice, showing they have a handle on the car even at pace.
Jamie Price holds P2, their best time a 147.721, currently navigating the anti-bank curve. Mac McFarquhar improves again, a 149.064 keeps them in P6, now in the screw curve. Nigel Walters falls to P11, still with that 150.830, currently through the sprint curve.
They might be focusing on longer runs or specific setup changes rather than outright pace right now. It's not always about the fastest lap in practice.
Adam Tias drops to P11 with their 150.232, 20 minutes and 37 seconds left on the clock.
They'll need to find some pace soon if they want to be competitive in qualifying. The midfield is very tight right now.
Nick Edwards on the board with a 149.535, putting them into P10, currently in the spoon curve. Philip Kuhn still without a time, now navigating the Dunlop section. Niall Gagan drops to P10 with their 149.492, currently in the spoon curve. David Constable Barry still hasn't boosted a time, currently in the hairpin. Nigel Walters improves. A 149.818 moves them up to P11, now in the snake.
That's a good step forward for Walters. They're finding their feet now and clearly have more pace to unlock. The snake demands precision, so that's a good sign.
Alex Udale still setting the pace in P1 with that 146.580, currently navigating the spoon curve.
They've been consistently quick throughout this session. It looks like they have a very good package underneath them, well balanced and quick everywhere.
Elliot Norton holds P5 with their 147.858 as the session winds down. Maximilian Turpin is yet to set a lap time with just over 16 minutes left in this practice session.
We're getting really late for some of these drivers now. If they don't get out soon, they won't have much time to assess the car and track conditions. It's a high-pressure situation, even in practice.
Dominic Fovard on the board. A 148.010 puts them straight into P6, currently in the hairpin. Tons finally gets a time in, a 148.885, good enough for P9. Alex Udale still in command, P1 with that 146.580, currently in the snake section. John Buntakis posts a 148.771, putting them into P9, currently in the anti-bank curve. Jamie Price improves again, a 147.422, solidifying P2, currently through the last curve. Elliot Norton drops to P6 with their 147.858, now on the backstretch. Alex Udale maintains a comfortable lead in P1, that 146.580 proving difficult to beat.
It's an impressive lap. They've found a sweet spot with the car and seem to be able to extract maximum performance. Everyone else is chasing that time now.
Phil Bodkin still without a lap time as we get very close to the final 12 minutes, currently in the last curve. Maximilian Turbin gets on the board with a 148.189, good enough for P9.
Finally, Turbin posts a time. That's a strong first lap given how late they've joined the session. It shows they have pace, now to find some consistency.
David Constable Barry posts a 149.892, putting them into P14, currently in the hairpin. Jamie Price holds P2 with that 147.422, currently on the backstretch. Niall Gagan improves slightly, a 149.361, but still drops to P13. Adam T is down to P15 with their 150.232, currently in the first corner as we enter the final 10 minutes.
They really need to find some significant pace in these last few minutes. The field is tightening up, and those at the back are going to have a hard time if they don't improve.
Dominic Fovard drops to P9 with their 148.010, currently on the backstretch.
Everyone's improving around them, so they'll need another strong lap to push back up the order. This is where the pressure really builds in practice.
Jamie Price holds P2 with that 147.422, currently in the Casio triangle. Nigel Walters falls to P14 with their 149.818, now in the spoon curve. Phil Bodkin still without a lap time, now on the backstretch, with just over 7 minutes to go.
They are really cutting it fine. It's almost impossible to get a good read on the car with so little time. They'll just be hoping to get a representative lap in before the flag.
Price still in P2 with their 147.422, currently on the backstretch. Philip Kunz improves significantly, a 147.731 rockets them up to P6. Thomas Kruger Dorado improves, a 147.589 moves them up to P5, currently in the snake. Niall Gagan finds more pace, a 1:48.563 moves them to P11, currently through the last curve. Philip Kunz holds P6 with that 1:47.731, now in the first corner.
That was a really strong lap from Kunz. They clearly got the car hooked up, which is what you want to see as the session draws to a close.
Adam T is still in P15 with their 1:50.232, just over 4 minutes remain. Nigel Walters remains P14, 1:49.818, currently in the Dunlop section. Nick Edwards improves to a 1:49.095, moving up to P13, now in the 130R. Maximilian Turbin finds more time. A 1:47.833 moves them into P8, currently in the Casio triangle. Nick Edwards with a huge improvement, a 1:46.894, straight into P2. What a lap.
Wow, that's an incredible jump up the order. To find that kind of pace in the dying minutes of a session shows real determination. They've absolutely nailed that lap.
Rich Snape still without a lap time, now in the hairpin, with just over a minute and a half to go. Nick Edwards holds P2 with that impressive 1:46.894 as we approach the final minute. Jasper Greenwood still hasn't posted a time, now in the screen curve, with just 25 seconds left. Maximilian Turbin remains in P9 with that 147.833, currently in Degner 1, just seconds left. Jamie Price with another strong improvement, a 146.897, but that puts them into P3, a very tight battle at the top.
They're really pushing hard to try and get that top spot. To find that kind of pace in the final moments of a session shows just how much is left to gain when everything comes together.
Rich Snape still without a lap time as the clock ticks towards the final minute. Maximilian Turbin holds P9 with their 147.833, just over a minute 17 left. Improves their time to a 147.055, moving up to P4. They're in the anti-bank curve with less than 2 minutes left.
To find that kind of pace at the very end of a session, when the pressure is on, really shows confidence. As a driver, you're trying to put everything together for one final push.
Welcome back to Suzuka, where qualifying is just moments away under an 11-knot breeze. The session is green and already ticking down, with Mac McFarkamar yet to post a time as we have just under 9 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. Alex Udale is out on track now, into the anti-bank curve, still needing to put a time on the board with 9 minutes and 15 seconds left.
That anti-bank curve is a tricky section early in the lap. You're really feeling out the grip there, trying not to push too hard on cold tires but also needing to find the rhythm quickly.
Phil Bodkin is now through the Dunlop curve, building up speed on his outlap. Still no time set with 8 minutes and 43 seconds to go. Mac McFarquhar pushing hard now, through the Casio triangle. He'll be looking to complete this lap and get a time in soon, with just over 8 minutes remaining.
The Casio triangle, it's a tight chicane and so crucial for a good lap time. You have to be precise on the brakes and get a clean exit, because any mistake there really compromises your speed onto the main straight. I always found it a great test of the car's balance.
Mac McFarquhar has just crossed the line, a 1:47.885, that puts him straight into provisional pole position. A strong opening statement with 6 minutes and 13 seconds left.
That's a very solid first effort from McFarquhar. To come out and nail a lap like that straight away, it shows confidence in the car and in himself. Getting a banter lap in really takes some of the pressure off for the rest of the session.
Adam Tias is currently P7 with a 1:50.924, and he's just slightly off that pace right now, 0.04 seconds down, with under 6 minutes remaining. Mac McFarquhar, now in P3, is really flying through the Dunlop curve. He's currently a remarkable 0.67 seconds up on his own best time, with 5 minutes 38 seconds left. Mac McFarquhar has just completed another lap, holding on to his best of 1:47.885, but he's dropped to 4th position now with 4 minutes and 23 seconds remaining.
He might not have improved on that lap, but others clearly have. It shows how quickly the track is evolving and how close the competition is getting now as everyone finds their rhythm. That 1:47.885 is still a very good benchmark, but it's no longer enough for the top spot.
Jareth Hallam is P8 with a 1:48.207, and he's just a whisker quicker, 0.03 seconds up on his personal best, as we head into the final 4 minutes of qualifying. Rich Snape is still out there, yet to set a time, with just 3 minutes and 46 seconds on the clock. He'll need to hurry.
He's really cut it fine. Maybe an issue on an earlier lap, or just waiting for the track to rubber in, but he has 1, maybe 2 laps at most now to get a representative time in, otherwise he'll be starting from the back.
Philip Kunz, currently P2 with a 146.789, is absolutely on it. He's 0.2 seconds up on his own best time as he screams down the backstretch, with 3 minutes 28 seconds remaining.
He's really putting it all together. That part of the track, the backstretch, is where you really exploit the car's top-end speed, and being 2 tenths up there shows he's carrying serious momentum from the previous sector. He's clearly pushing for pole.
John Boontakis, currently P8, is on a flyer. He's through the 200R, a full 0.41 seconds quicker than his best lap so far, with just over 3 minutes left.
The 200R is a really high commitment corner. You need a lot of courage to take it flat out, and if he's gaining that much time there, it means he's either got a lot of confidence in the car or he's just really hanging it out. That's where you find the big gains or make big mistakes.
John Boontakis improves his time to a 147.943, but he remains in P8, showing just how tight this session is getting, with just 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining.
Even with an improvement like that, staying in P8 means everyone else is also finding pace. It's a real testament to how competitive this field is at Suzuka. Every 10th counts.
Niall Gagan, currently P11, is a significant 2.28 seconds down on his best lap right now, with just under 2 minutes left in the session.
That delta suggests he's not on a flying lap, perhaps backing off to create a gap, or maybe just feeling out the car on a cool-down lap before pushing again. With so little time left, he'll need to make his next run count.
Nick Edwards is in the hairpin, still without a time, with just 1 minute 34 seconds left. This is his final chance.
He's really on the clock here. That hairpin requires real precision, and he needs to execute this lap perfectly to even get on the board. This is where the pressure truly mounts.
David Constable Barry, P10, is on a massive charge through Sprint Curve. He's currently 0.34 seconds up on his best lap, with just over a minute left. Jamie Price, currently P7, is absolutely flying down the backstretch. He's a huge 0.61 seconds up on his best time, with only 52 seconds left on the clock. Jamie Price crosses the line. He improves his time to a 147.159, and that jumps him up to third position with just 23 seconds left.
What a lap from Price. To find that much time right at the end of the session, when the pressure is immense, is just incredible. That puts him in a really strong starting position for the race.
Elliot Norton, currently P4, is absolutely sending it through the Casio triangle. He's 0.26 seconds up on his best time on this final flying lap, with just 5 seconds left on the clock.
This is everything. The Casio triangle is such a make-or-break section right at the end of the lap, and to be that much quicker there, he's taking huge risks. He'll know this is his last shot to improve.
Thomas Kruger Dorado, currently P14, is having a phenomenal final lap. He's an incredible 1.57 seconds up on his best time with just 18 seconds remaining. David Constable Barry, P12, is pushing hard, 0.26 seconds up on his best time and heading toward the line as the clock ticks down to just 29 seconds.
This is it, the final push for him. You have to risk everything on these last laps, knowing every hundredth of a second could be the difference between making the cut and going home. It's a huge test of nerve.
David Constable Barry improves his time to a 1:48.590 but stays in P12, with 1 minute 21 seconds left in the session. Thomas Kruger Dorado, now in P5 with his 1:47.438, is currently well off that pace on his current lap, over 14 seconds down with 91 seconds to go. Thomas Kruger Dorado has just completed a stunning lap. He posts a 1:47.438, rocketing him up to 5th position with just under 2 minutes left in the session.
That's an incredible time from Kruger Dorado. To pull that out when the pressure is at its peak, it really shows his class. That's the kind of lap you need to secure a good grid spot.
Welcome to Suzuka, the wind at 4 knots as the cars line up on the grid, ready for lights out. Alex Udale, the Englishman, starts from pole position today in his JT5 Toyota 2021. Lining up alongside him in second is Philipp Kunz, the German Pro-Am driver in his JT5 Shiro. Third on the grid is Elliot Norton, another Brit, in the JT5 SNX.
A Pro-Am driver starting so high up, that means he's got some real pace in that SNX, it's a solid car.
Jamie Price, in the Shiro, lines up in fourth, the AM-class driver looking to make an impact.
For an AM driver to be starting in the top 4, that's a seriously strong qualifying effort. Shows real commitment.
Thomas Kruger Dorado in the Moyota completes the top 5 starters, another driver from the UK. And starting from 6th is Nick Edwards, the Canadian, in his Moyota.
He's an AM driver, so getting into Q3 and starting here is a big achievement. He'll be looking to hold his own.
Maximilian Turbin, another English driver in a Moyota, starts from P7. Jareth Hallam, also from the UK, rounds out the top 8 in another Moyota.
It's a very strong Moyota grid this weekend. Their setups are clearly working well around Suzuka's quick corners.
P9 goes to Dominic Fovard, the UK driver in a Shiro. And completing our top 10 starters, it's Mac McFarquhar, the Pro Class driver in a Shiro. John Boontakis, the Greek driver in a Shiro, starts from P11. P12 belongs to David Constable Barry, another English driver in a Shiro.
He'll be looking to make up ground here. Suzuka offers a few overtaking opportunities, especially into the hairpin.
Niall Gagan, the Irishman, lines up in 13th in his SNX.
The SNX can be a tricky car to set up, but when it's on, it's fast. He'll be hoping for a good run into turn 1.
Rich Snape, another UK driver, starts P14 in his SNX. Nigel Walters, from the UK, starts 15th in his Moyota. Rounding out our grid, Adam Tiaz, also from the UK, starts P16 in his Shiro. Jasper Greenwood, the AM class driver, takes the 17th spot on the grid in his Shiro. And finally, Phil Bodkin from England, also an AM class driver, completes the grid in 18th in his Shiro. The lights are out and we are underway at Suzuka. Alex Udale gets a superb launch and holds onto the lead through turn 1. Udale really nailed that start, absolutely clean through the first corner, still P1.
Holding the lead from pole at Suzuka, especially through the S's, is all about confidence and precision. Udale's got it.
Elliot Norton holds his ground, remaining in 3rd position as they navigate the early turns.
Maintaining a qualifying position on the opening lap is crucial. It shows he's not easily intimidated by the pack.
Philip Koons has managed to keep his 2nd spot, tucked in behind Udale.
He'll be looking for an opportunity, but he needs to be patient. Suzuka punishes mistakes early.
Koons is right there, glued to the back of Udale, holding P2 comfortably.
That's what we want from the front row, a solid start and then just apply the pressure. No unnecessary risks.
Niall Gagan maintains his 13th position through the opening corners.
It's a clean start for him, which is what matters. No losing places in the chaos.
Niall Gagan remains P13, with David Constable Barry now 0.8 seconds ahead at 12th. Now with Thomas Kruger Dorado in 5th, with Nick Edwards just 0.8
Safety car in this lap.
6th. We're still early on, 42 minutes plus a lap remaining.
That's a tight battle for P5. Kruger Dorado will want to break the toe from Edwards, especially before they hit the faster sections of the track.
Nick Nick Edwards is in the slipstream of Cougar Dorado on the backstretch, only 0.4 seconds separating them in the fight for fifth. Edwards has closed the gap to Cougar Dorado even further, now just 0.2 seconds.
Get ready, safety car's clear.
Mac McFarquhar is now on screen, holding 10th, 0.4 seconds behind Dominic Fauvargue in P9, with 41 minutes per lap remaining. McFarquhar has moved up to P9. He's gained a spot.
Green, let's go.
0.5 seconds behind Dominic Fauvargue, who's in P8.
That's a good move by McFarquhar early on. He's a pro driver, so he'll be looking to make up ground quickly.
And McFarquhar takes another spot. He's up to P8, with Fauvargue now directly behind him, the gap at 0. Nick Edwards is now P12, with Niall Gagan right on his tail, the gap effectively 0. Edwards just posted a 3:29.522 last lap, with 41 minutes in the lap left. Edwards has found some breathing room, the gap to Gagan now 0.4 seconds. It's been a busy start here at Suzuka, hasn't it? Plenty of position changes already down the order.
Absolutely. When you're in the car, those first few laps are just pure pains. You're trying to gain spots without taking too many risks.
We've seen some impressive moves, particularly from McFarquhar, really slicing his way through the field after starting P10.
That's what you expect from a pro driver. They know where to place the car and how to commit to an overtake. It's all about finding those tiny gaps.
And up at the front, Udale looks incredibly comfortable, but Coons isn't letting him get away too easily, keeping that pressure on.
That's the mental game. Udale knows Coons is there, and that pressure can lead to a mistake. You just have to drive your race, but it's always in the back of your mind.
We've also seen some strong early pace from the AM drivers, holding their own, even gaining a few places.
It's great to see. They've put in the work, and it's paying off. For an AM, staying calm in these conditions is key. I remember races where the opening lap felt like an eternity.
With 40 minutes left, there's still plenty of time for strategies to unfold, pit stops to come into play, and perhaps even some more drama.
Definitely. Now drivers are settling into their rhythm, but the longer the race goes, the more tire degradation and fuel management become a factor. That's when the real decisions are made.
It's all about consistency from here on, trying to string together strong lap times.
Yes, and managing your tires. Suzuka is tough on rubber, especially VVS's. You have to balance aggression with preservation.
Mac McFarquhar continues his charge, now up to P6. He's just 0.1 seconds behind Jared Callum in 5th, posting a 151.482 last lap. Still 39 minutes in the lap to go.
He's really making short work of the field. From P10 to P6 already, that's a serious push from the pro driver. He's clearly found a rhythm here.
Now with Dominic Fauvargue in P6, keeping John Boontakas 0.2 seconds behind him in P7. Fauvargue's last lap was a 152.108.
This battle for P6 is heating up. Fauvargue needs to be careful not to get caught out. Boontakas will be pushing hard.
David Constable Barry is in 9th, 0.3 seconds back from Nick Edwards in P8. Constable Barry just set a 152.651 last lap. Constable Barry has dropped back slightly from Edwards, the gap now 0.5 seconds. Rich Snape is in P11, 0.4 seconds behind Niall Gagan in P10. Snape's last lap, 153.346. Rich Snape has made the move. He's now P10, passing Niall Gagan, who's right on his rear wing.
That was a quick, decisive move from Snape. Now he needs to defend. Gagan won't give that spot up easily.
Snape gains another position, now P9, with Gagan still glued to his rear in P10. Niall Gagan is through the first corner in P10, 0.3 seconds behind Rich Snape in 9th. Gagan's last lap, 152.520.
He's still pushing. Sometimes when you lose a place, the adrenaline pushes you to respond immediately. This could be a good fight.
A massive shake-up at the front. Maximilian Turbin has taken the lead, with Philip Koons now in second, just 0.0 seconds behind, after a 147.989 last lap for Koons.
Incredible. Turbin has stormed to P1. I wonder what happened to Udale. Koons will be sensing an opportunity. He's right there for the taking.
A shocking development as pole sitter Alex Udale falls all the way to P13. Now just behind Philip Koons in P12, both having dropped dramatically down the order in the hairpin. Unbelievable, Udale has dropped even further back, now down to P16, with Koons 12.2 seconds ahead in P11.
That's a disastrous few moments for Udale. To lose that much time in so many positions, it must have been a major mistake or even contact.
Now with Elliot Norton in P12, trailing Phil Bodkin in 11th by just 0.2 seconds on the backstretch. Norton's last lap was a 2:02.363.
That's a slower lap time for Norton than we've seen from the front runners. He'll need to pick up the pace if he wants to recover from this.
Elliot Norton has recovered a spot, now P11, with Bodkin now behind him in 13th, 0.9 seconds back. Norton continues to climb, now P10, creating a small gap to Bodkin in P12. Jamie Price is now P11, just 0.2 seconds behind Elliot Norton in P10 as they exit the first corner. Price's last lap was a 1:49.029. Adam Tiaz is now in 10th, right on the tail of Elliot Norton in P9 through the anti-bank curve, the gap at 0. A big drop for Adam Tiaz, down to P14, now 10.9 seconds behind Elliot Norton who is still in P10. Elliot Norton continues in P10, trying to reel in Jamie Price who is 0.3 seconds ahead in P9. Norton's last lap, 1:49.884.
It's a really tight group in the middle of the pack now. Every 10th counts, and they'll be looking for any small mistake from each other.
Norton makes a move and is up to P9, now 0.5 seconds behind Jamie Price in P8.
He's definitely found his place now. After those early struggles, he's clawing his way back up the field effectively.
Jamie Price is now P9, navigating the Casio Triangle, 0.4 seconds behind John Butakis in P8. Price set a 1:49.029 last lap. Jamie Price takes the spot. He's now P8, just ahead of John Butakis, who's directly behind him.
Great move from the end driver. That's excellent racecraft to get past Butakis there. He's really impressing today.
John Butakis is in P9, now defending from Elliot Norton, who is 0.2 seconds behind in P10. Baltaki's last lap was a 1:51.283. Butakis has extended that gap slightly to Norton, now 0.4 seconds. Elliot Norton continues to chase John Butakis for P9, the gap 0.2 seconds. Norton's last lap, 1:50.740. Norton is right on Baltaki's tail now, the gap just 0.1 seconds. Norton makes the move, he's up to P9, with Butakis now directly behind him.
That was a really well-timed overtake. He waited for his moment and took it. Excellent precision.
John Butakis is now P10, 0.4 seconds behind Elliot Norton in P9. Butakis posted a 1:51.283 last time round. Norton has pulled out a bit of a gap to Buntakis, now 0.9 seconds between them. Jamie Price is now up to P8, just 0.2 seconds behind Nigel Walters in P7. Price's last lap was a 1:49.279.
Price is really putting in a strong performance. He's an AM driver, but he's mixing it with the pros and pro-ams. He's got the pace.
The gap to Walters for Price has opened slightly to 0.3 seconds. Phil Bodkin is in P12, 0.3 seconds behind John Buntakis in 11th. Bodkin's last lap was a 1:49.998. The gap remains constant between Bodkin and Buntakis at 0.3 seconds. Elliot Norton continues to chase, P9, 0.3 seconds behind Jamie Price in P8. Norton's last lap, 1:49.860. The gap has just opened up to 0.6 seconds between Norton and Price for P8. Elliot Norton continues his charge, now up to P8, just 0.3 seconds behind Jamie Price, who's moved into P7.
Norton is relentlessly making up ground. He's been consistently picking off places since his earlier drop. That's fantastic resilience.
Elliot Norton continues his pursuit of Jamie Price for P7, the gap at 0.3 seconds. Norton just posted a 1:49.314. And Norton gets the overtake done. He's up to P7, leaving Price 0.3 seconds behind in P8.
Brilliant work there. He's really found his rhythm now and is making quick progress through the field.
Jamie Price is now in P8, chasing Elliot Norton, who is 0.4 seconds ahead in P7. Price's last lap was a 1:49.941. Norton has opened up a bit of a lead now. Price is 0.8 seconds behind in P8.
That's a good sign for Norton. Once you make the pass, you want to try and break the toe and get clear air as quickly as possible.
Alex Udale, the former leader, has fought his way back into the top 10, now in P9, 0.2 seconds behind Jamie Price in P8. Udale's last lap, a rapid 1:48.170. Udale has gained another spot, now P8, just 0.2 seconds behind Jamie Price in P7.
He's definitely found his pace again. That 1:48 last lap shows he's pushing hard. Amazing recovery drive so far.
A slight wobble there for Udale. He's dropped back to P9, 0.3 seconds behind Price.
He needs to focus on consistency now. Those quick lap times are good, but he can't afford to keep losing and regaining positions.
Alex Udale is back in P8, still chasing Jamie Price for P7, the gap 0.4 seconds. Udale's last lap, 1:48.209. Udale is inching closer to Price, the gap now 0.3 seconds.
He's relentlessly applying pressure. You can see he wants that position back.
What a race this is turning into, especially for Alex Udale. From pole to P16 and now clawing his way back into the top 10. Incredible resilience.
It takes a huge amount of mental fortitude to recover like that. When you lose that many spots, it's easy to get frustrated, but he's just putting his head down and pushing.
And what about Maximilian Turbin, silently taking over the lead while all that chaos unfolded behind him? He's looking very strong up front.
That's often the best strategy in these longer races. Let the others make mistakes, keep it clean, and be there to pick up the pieces. He'll be feeling very confident right now.
We've also seen some brilliant battles further down, particularly with Jamie Price and Elliot Norton, swapping positions regularly.
Those mid-pack fights are just as intense as the lead. Drivers are pushing each other to the limit, looking for any edge. I've had more overtakes in a single lap in those groups than in entire races up front.
The AM and Pro-Am drivers are really showing their mettle today. Price, Norton, they're all right in the thick of it.
It's fantastic to see the depth of talent. The gap between the classes is definitely narrowing. It shows how much preparation everyone is putting in these days.
With just under 30 minutes left, there's still ample time for more drama to unfold here at Suzuka.
Definitely, tire degradation will start to become a real factor now, and managing that pace while keeping the tires alive is crucial. It's a fine balance.
Huge changes at the front. Nick Edwards is now in P2 through the snake, 0.6 seconds behind Dominic Fovart, who leads in P1. Edwards just posted a 147.815 last lap, with 26 minutes in the lap remaining. Nick Edwards has taken the lead. He's pulled out a 2.1 second gap to Dominic Fovart, who's now in P2. Alex Udale continues his comeback, now in P7, 0.9 seconds behind Elliot Norton in P6. Udale's last lap was a 147.427. The gap between Udale and Norton for P6 has opened slightly to 1.0 seconds. Philip Koons is struggling, now down in P15, 1.2 seconds behind Adam Tias in P14. Koons' last lap was a 147.577, surprisingly quick given his position.
That's interesting, a fast lap for Koons, but still losing positions. It suggests he might have had an incident or a major lockup that dropped him down, and he's now trying to recover.
Alex Udale is still in P7, now 0.7 seconds behind Elliot Norton in P6. Udale's last lap was that impressive 147.427.
He's definitely found his rhythm. That's a good lap time to be setting, consistent and fast. He'll be trying to bridge that gap to Norton.
Udale has fallen back just a tenth for Norton, now 0.8 seconds.
He needs to focus on driving consistently. He's been gaining and losing those tenths quite often. Consistency is key to a recovery drive.
Philip Koons is right on the tail of Adam Tias for P14, the gap just 0.1 seconds. Koons' last lap was a 148.949. Koons has gained a position, now P14, pulling 0.3 seconds clear of Tias. Alex Udale is still in P7, 0.7 seconds behind Elliot Norton in P6. Udale has just set the best lap of the race, a 146.740. Udale has shaved another tenth off the gap to Norton, now 0.6 seconds.
That best lap from Udale is phenomenal. He's absolutely on a charge now, using every bit of that mood as performance.
Elliot Norton is P6, with Alex Udale now just 0.4 seconds behind in P7. Norton's last lap, 147.343. Norton and Udale have swapped places. Udale is now P6, with Norton right behind him in P7.
Udale's persistence pays off. He just kept chipping away at that gap, and he finally made the move stick.
Drama at the front. Former leader Maximilian Turbin has dropped to P12, now 5.2 seconds behind Niall Gagan in P11 through the Casio Triangle.
Oh, what a fall from grace. Turbin was leading just a few laps ago. To lose that many positions, it must have been a spin, a lock-up, or even contact. This race is just full of surprises.
Elliot Norton has dived into the pits from P12. Bill Bodkin is in P13, 0.3 seconds behind Elliot Norton in P12. Bodkin's last lap was a 150.221. Phil Bodkin has gained a place, now P12, with Norden 0.4 seconds behind in P13.
He's making the most of that pit stop for Norden. A well-timed move to get ahead there.
Jamie Price is now just 0.1 seconds behind Alex Udale in P6, holding P7 himself. Price's last lap, a 147.177. Udale has pulled a small gap on Price, now 0.4 seconds.
That's what you want when you've just been put under pressure. A little breathing room to manage your tires and your pace.
What a topsy-turvy race we've had. From pole position falling back to Nick Edwards now leading the pack, it's been non-stop drama.
It just goes to show you how quickly fortunes can change in motor racing. One moment you're leading, the next you're fighting in the midfield. I've had races where a small mistake cost me several places instantly.
And Maximilian Turbin's fall from the lead, what do you think happened there?
It's hard to say without seeing it, but a drop like that often points to a spin, or maybe contact that damage with God. You can be flying one lap and then suddenly just lose it.
But then Udale's recovery has been simply sensational, from P16 all the way back into the top 10.
That takes immense character. To not give up, to keep pushing lap after lap when things go wrong, that's what separates good drivers from great ones. You just have to reset and focus.
The battles in the mid-pack too, so intense. Price, Norden, Boontakis all swapping places continuously.
Oh, those are the hardest fights. You're constantly trying to outthink your opponent, manage your tires, and still maintain pace. It's a proper chess match at 200 miles an hour.
We've also seen Elliot Norden make his pit stop. How crucial is that timing in a race like this?
Timing is everything. Too early, and you're fighting tire degradation at the end. Too late, and you lose track position. The outlap immediately after a stop is where you can make or break your race.
Alex Udale is now P8, 0.4 seconds behind John Boontakis in P7. Udale's last lap, 148.592. The gap has just opened to 0.6 seconds between Udale and Boontakis. What a phenomenal shift at the front. Nick Edwards, who started P6, is now leading this race. What an unbelievable turnaround.
It's incredible, isn't it? This just shows you that even if you don't nail qualifying, a consistent race pace and capitalizing on others' mistakes can absolutely win you the day. I've had many races where a solid drive from the mid-pack paid off.
And Udale, after dropping right back, is still fighting to get back into the top positions. He's been relentless.
He has. That sort of resilience is what defines a champion. You have to keep pushing, even when it feels like everything is going against you. You just focus on the next corner, the next lap.
We're seeing a lot of drivers now settling into their rhythm, but the gaps are still so close in places.
That's where the real racecraft comes in. Managing your tires, looking for weak spots in the car ahead, and preserving enough performance for the end. It's a delicate balance now, especially at Suzuka with its demanding corners.
With 20 minutes left, who do you think has the best chance to make a late charge?
It'll be the drivers who've managed their equipment best. Those who haven't abused their tires early on will have the pace in these final minutes to make a push when it really counts.
Adam Tiaz comes into the pits from P13. John Boontakis is in P7, 0.5 seconds behind Rich Snape in P6. Baltaki's last lap was a 149.939. Boontakis has closed the gap to Snape by a tenth, now 0.4 seconds. With less than 20 minutes to go, it's really starting to become a strategic game out there. Every pit stop, every tire choice, is crucial now.
Absolutely. Drivers will be managing their tires much more carefully. You don't have to push too hard now and find yourself with no grip for the final laps. It's about finding that delicate balance.
Nick Edwards is really holding strong at the front, extending his lead. What a performance from him today.
He's been incredibly consistent. No mistakes, just clean, fast driving. That's how you win races. I've always said, consistency beats raw speed on a challenging track like Suzuka any day.
And John Boontakis is really pushing Rich Snape for that P6 spot. That's a great battle to watch.
They're both looking for every advantage. It's a high-stakes game now because positions in the top 10 are so valuable. Every point matters.
We've seen a couple of pit stops now, with Tia's also coming in. Are we expecting more in these final minutes?
It depends on their strategy and how much tire they have left. Some might try to stretch it to the end, others might gamble on the late splash and dash for fresh rubber. It's a calculated risk.
It's all building up to a thrilling finish here at Suzuka.
It certainly is. These last few laps will be critical. Driver fatigue, tire degradation, and maintaining focus will decide who truly comes out on top.
Alex Udale pits from P12. Dominic Fovarg is in P3 through 200R, 0.6 seconds behind Jareth Hallam in P2. Fovarg's last lap, 148.623.
This is a solid drive from Fovarg. He's maintained a strong position near the front throughout the race. Consistency is really paying off for him.
John Boontakis is now P5 in the hairpin, just 0.3 seconds ahead of Niall Gagan in P6. Valtaki's last lap, 149.855. Boontakis has dropped a spot to P6, now 0.6 seconds behind Niall Gagan in P5. Dominic Fovarg remains in P3, now 0.7 seconds behind Jareth Hallam in P2. Fovarg's last lap was a 148.858. The gap between Fovarg and Hallam for second remains at 0.7 seconds. Maximilian Turbin has climbed back up to P7, now 1.1 seconds behind John Boontakis in P6. Turbin's last lap was a 148.633.
Turbin is certainly on a recovery mission now. After that big drop, he's steadily gaining back positions. That's a strong lap time from him.
The gap between Turbin and Boontakis for P6 remains 1.1 seconds. Dominic Fovarg closes the gap to Jareth Hallam for P2, now just 0.5 seconds. Fovarg's last lap was a 148.858.
He's really putting pressure on Hallam now. The fight for second place is heating up with only 14 minutes left.
Elliot Norton is in P8, just 0.2 seconds behind Niall Gagan in P7. Norton's last lap, 147.704. Elliot Norton takes the position. He's up to P7, with Gagan right behind him. Maximilian Turbin continues his climb, now P6, just 0.3 seconds behind John Boontakis in P5. Turbin's last lap was a 148.633. The gap between Turbin and Boontakis has opened slightly to 0.4 seconds. With just over 10 minutes left in this race, it feels like every position is still up for grabs, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. Drivers are really pushing now, knowing that there aren't many laps left to make a move. The pressure is immense, and you can feel it in the air.
Maximilian Turbin's recovery has been truly impressive. From P12 back up to P6, that's a testament to his pace.
It shows he had genuine raw speed to begin with. When you have that pace, even a setback doesn't keep you down for long. He's just driving consistently fast laps now.
And the battle for second between Fovarg and Hallam is really intensifying. It's so tight.
They're both looking for that slight advantage. Suzuka's quick corners offer little margin for error, but that also means there are opportunities if one of them blinks first.
Are we likely to see any more drivers attempt a pit stop in these final moments?
Possibly, but it would be a very risky strategy. You'd need fresh tires to be significantly faster to make up for the time lost in the pits. Most will be trying to nurse their current set to the finish now.
It's going to be a nail-biting finish, I can tell you that.
For sure. It comes down to who can hold their nerve, who has the best tire management, and who can string together perfect laps under pressure.
Philip Koons is now in P9, 0.5 seconds behind Niall Gagan in P8. Koons' last lap was a 1:47.758.
Koons is steadily climbing back through the field too, another driver who suffered an early setback but is now showing strong pace.
Jareth Hallam is now in P4, creating a 1.8 second gap to John Butakis in P5. Hallam's last lap, 1:50.675. Jareth Hallam makes a late pit stop from P7. Maximilian Turbin is now P5, 0.7 seconds behind John Butakis in P4. Turbin's last lap was a 1:49.958. Turbin has closed the gap to Butakis by 10th, now 0.6 seconds. That late pit stop from Jareth Hallam is a real gamble, isn't it? He was running in a strong position, P7.
It is. He must have been really struggling with his tires, or perhaps picked up some damage. Or, he's hoping that fresh rubber will give him an unbeatable edge for the final run, but it's a huge risk.
Meanwhile, Nick Edwards has been completely unfazed by all the drama behind him. He's maintained a commanding lead.
He's done a masterclass today. Just kept his head down, hit his marks, and broke that gap. That's the sign of a truly disciplined drive, especially from an AM driver leading the whole field.
And Turbin continues his climb back up the order. He's been incredibly consistent with his pace.
He certainly has. He's found his rhythm, and he's not letting up. To come back from so far down and be fighting for a top 5 position is phenomenal.
We're down to the final 10 minutes plus that extra lap now. Every corner is going to count.
This is where fatigue can set in, both for the driver and the tires. The concentration levels have to be absolutely peak. One small slip now can cost you dearly.
Elliot Norden is now P5, 1.1 seconds behind Maximilian Turbin in P4. Norden's last lap, 1:47.404. John Butakis has dropped to P8, now 1.9 seconds behind Niall Gagan in P7. Bountaki's last lap was a slow 1:57.370. John Butakis pits from P10. Elliot Norden is through the snake in P5, now 0.8 seconds behind Maximilian Turbin in P4. Norden's last lap, 1:47.542. Norden has closed the gap to Turbin for P4, now just 0.6 seconds.
He's really pushing. That's a good time to be finding pace, right at the end of the race when others might be starting to struggle.
Jamie Price is now P9, 0.3 seconds behind Jareth Hallam in P8. Price's last lap, 1:47.543. Price closes the gap even further to Hallam, now just 0.2 seconds. With less than 10 minutes to go, every single battle on track is intensified. It's truly a sprint to the finish now.
This is where the brave drivers separate themselves. You have to be aggressive but smart, knowing exactly where to place your car and when to take that risk for an overtake.
That fight for P4 between Turbin and Norden is absolutely captivating. Norden's pace has been remarkable in these final laps.
He's definitely found something extra in that SNX. And Turbin, having come from so far back, will not want to lose that position easily. It's a battle of wills now.
And Jamie Price is really pushing Hallam for P8, another great show of determination from an AM driver.
Price has had an excellent race overall. To be consistently fighting in the top 10 as an AM driver is a testament to his skill and focus. It's what you train for, these final minutes.
The pits are seeing some late action, Butakis being the latest to come in. Is that a desperate gamble or a calculated risk?
At this stage, it's usually a desperate one unless you had a very specific strategy planned. Fresh tires are good, but losing track position with so little time left is extremely hard to recover from.
Nick Edwards, though, looks serene at the front. Has he effectively sealed this race?
He's in a very strong position. Unless he makes a major error or has mechanical trouble, it's his race to lose. He's managing the gap perfectly.
Philip Koons is now in P6, 0.8 seconds behind Elliot Norton in P5. Koons' last lap, an impressive 1:47.228.
Koons is really showing his class now. He's been steadily recovering after his own early issues, and that lap time is very competitive.
Koons has chipped another tenth off the gap to Norton, now 0.7 seconds. Elliot Norton is still in P5, now just 0.3 seconds behind Maximilian Turbin in P4. Norton's last lap, 1:47.853.
This battle for P4 is intense. Norton is clearly pushing hard to make that overtake before the flag.
Norton is right on Turbin's gearbox now, just 0.1 seconds separate than for P4. Philip Koons is still in P6, 0.8 seconds behind Elliot Norton in P5. Koons' last lap, 1:47.319. Koons has dramatically closed the gap to Norton, now just 0.4 seconds. Elliot Norton is still pushing for P4, now 0.2 seconds behind Maximilian Turbin. Norton's last lap, 1:48.476. The gap between Norton and Turbin for P4 remains at 0.2 seconds. Philip Koons is now just 0.3 seconds behind Elliot Norton for P5. Koons' last lap was a 1:47.319.
Koons is absolutely flying now. He's got a definite pace advantage over Norton at the moment. This is going to be a fascinating finish for these positions.
Has closed the gap to Norton for P5 to just 0.2 seconds.
He's really putting the pressure on. Norton will be feeling that in his mirrors. He needs to be absolutely perfect.
Elliot Norton is still chasing Maximilian Turbin for P4, the gap at 0.2 seconds. Norton's last lap, 1:48.476.
He needs to make a move soon. Time is running out to gain that position before the flag.
Jamie Price is now P8 through the first corner, 0.4 seconds behind Niall Gagan in P7. Price just set a 1:47.054 last lap.
Another impressive lap time from Jamie Price. He's really found his stride in these final minutes.
The gap between Price and Gagan for P7 holds steady at 0.4 seconds. Elliot Norton is P5, but the gap to Maximilian Turbin in P4 has opened to 0.5 seconds. Norton's last lap was a 1:49.127. Not the final lap yet.
He's lost a little bit of ground there. Turbin might have just found some extra pace, or Norton's tires might be starting to fall away a little.
Price is now P8 through Suzuka, only 0.2 seconds behind Niall Gagan in P7. Price's last lap was that impressive 1:47.054. Still not the final lap. Jamie Price makes the move. He's up to P7, just 0.1 seconds ahead of Gagan now. Rich Snape is P12, 0.2 seconds behind Alex Udale in P11. Snape's last lap, 148.295. Still not the final lap. Rich Snape has overtaken Udale for P11. Udale is right on his bumper.
Udale will not be happy about that. After all that effort to climb back, to lose a position right at the end will sting.
With the clock winding down, it's incredible how many battles are still going on out there.
Every driver is pushing for every single position now. The fatigue is high, the tires are worn, but the adrenaline is through the roof. This is where races are won or lost.
That fight between Snape and Udale for P11 is just one example. Udale's had a roller coaster of a race.
He has. To come from pole, drop so far, then fight back only to lose a spot later on. It's tough, but that's racing. You've got to keep the concentration absolutely dialed in.
And Jamie Price, what a drive from him. Into P7 now, a truly fantastic performance for an AM driver.
He's been so consistent and clinical with his overtakes. He's really impressed me today. He's proven he belongs up there.
Nick Edwards still looks very much in control at the front. It seems like it's his race to win.
He's driven a flawless race. No mistakes, managed his pace and tires. He truly deserves this lead.
The atmosphere here at Suzuka is electric. The crowd knows we're heading for a thrilling conclusion.
They absolutely do. These final laps are always the most exciting. Everything comes down to this now.
Elliot Norton is still holding P5, but Philip Koons is right on his tail, just 0.1 seconds behind. Norton's last lap, 148.695. Still not the final lap.
Koons is absolutely breathing down Norton's neck. He's found incredible pace in these final minutes to recover even more positions.
Norton has gained a spot to P4, and he's opened a 0.4 second gap to Koons, who has dropped to P6. Philip Koons is now in P6, 0.3 seconds behind Maximilian Turbin in P5. Koons' last lap, 148.315, not the final lap. The gap between Koons and Turbin has opened to 0.4 seconds for P5.
It's back and forth for these positions. No one is giving an inch in these final stages.
Maximilian Turbin holds P5, 0.4 seconds ahead of Philip Koons in P6. Turbin's last lap, 148.636, not the final lap. The gap between Turbin and Koons for P5 remains 0.4 seconds. Philip Koons is P6, 0.5 seconds behind Maximilian Turbin in P5. Koons' last lap, 148.315, not the final lap. Koons has closed in on Turbin again, now just 0.3 seconds for P5.
He is absolutely relentless in this final stint. He wants that top 5 finish.
Maximilian Turbin is through the first corner in P5, with Philip Koons just 0.3 seconds behind in P6. Turbin's last lap, 148.908, still not the final lap. Koons has closed the gap to Turbin for P5 to just 0.2 seconds. Philip Koons is P6, 0.4 seconds behind Maximilian Turbin in P5. Koons' last lap, 148.666, not the final lap. Nick Edwards is cruising to victory. He's 20 seconds from the checkered flag, with Dominic Faubourg a massive 18.5 seconds behind.
What a dominant drive from Edwards. He's been absolutely flawless since taking the lead. He's got this race in the bag.
Nick Edwards crosses the line. He wins the race at Suzuka from P6 on the grid. What an incredible performance.
Absolutely fantastic. A truly well-deserved victory for Edwards. He drove a brilliant, consistent, and smart race. That's how you win from the middle of the pack.
Thomas Kruger Dorado crosses the line in 13th. Dominic Faubourg takes second place, a strong finish after starting P9. David Constable Barry claims the final podium spot, finishing in third after starting P12. Adam Tias comes home in 14th position. Elliot Norton finishes in a fantastic 4th place.
What a recovery drive for Norton. He really battled back after their early struggles, a truly gritty performance.
Maximilian Turbin secures 5th place, with Philip Coons just behind him in 6th, and Jamie Price takes a strong 7th.
3 excellent finishes there, especially Price, the AM driver, to hold on to P7 is a serious result in this field.
Niall Gagan crosses the line in 8th position. Jareth Hallam finishes his race in 9th place.
After that late pit stop, P9 is a decent recovery for Hallam. He made it count.
And John Dukakis takes the final point scoring position in 10th.
He really fought hard throughout the race. Good to see him finish in the top 10.
Alex Udale crosses the line in 11th, a real roller coaster of a race for him. Rich Snape finishes his race in 12th position. Phil Bodkin crosses the line in 15th. practice session is well underway here, just under 9 minutes left on the clock.
This is where the real work happens, getting the car balanced. I always found these sessions critical for race day setup.
And Phil Bodkin still hasn't registered a time, a few drivers yet to get on the board. The Suzuka GP, always a spectacular start, and the tension is palpable on the grid.
That crosswind at 14 will be a real factor into turn 1, you can feel it even standing here.
Adam Tiaz, starting second in the JT5 Shiro, a big day for the British driver.
Second on the grid here at Suzuka, that's a prime spot, but it's a long run to the first corner.
And alongside Tiaz is another Brit, Thomas Kruger Dorado, in the Toyota, starting from third.
P3, that's a good spot too, you can really pick your line into the first corner from there, not quite as much pressure as pole.
Rich Snape in the SNX, another British driver, lining up in fourth.
3 British drivers in the top 4, they really like this track. Snape is an M-Class driver, so a real challenge for him here.
Alex Udale, also in a Toyota, starts from 5th on the grid.
5th isn't bad here, you're clear of the real mid-pack chaos, but still have a tow from the cars ahead.
John Boontakis, the Greek driver, lines up in 6th in the Shiro. Jareth Hallam, the Pro-Am driver from the UK, starting from 7th.
7th is tricky here, it's right in the thick of it for turn 1. You need to be aggressive but also smart.
Niall Gagan, the Irishman, starting 8th in the SNX.
He'll be looking to make up places quickly, that's a congested part of the grid.
Jamie Price, an M-Class driver, starting from 9th in the Shiro.
M drivers at Suzuka, it's a baptism of fire. This circuit demands precision.
Rounding out the top 10 is Philipp Kunz from Germany, in a Shiro. Maximilian Turbin, the Pro-Am driver from England, starting just outside the top 10 in 11th. Elliot Norton, another British Pro-Am driver, lines up in 12th. David Constable Barry, England, Shiro, starting from 13th. Dominic Fovard, another Pro-Am driver from the UK, starting from 14th.
This midfield is packed with Pro-Am talent. It'll be a real fight for every position.
Nick Edwards, the Canadian M-Class driver, starting 15th in the Toyota.
M drivers starting mid-pack, they'll need to keep it clean in these early stages.
Mac McFarquhar, the Pro-Class driver from the UK, starts down in 16th.
16th is a tough spot for a pro driver, he's got his work cut out for him to climb through the field. I've been there, it's not fun.
And pole position goes to Phil Bodkin, an M-Class driver from England, a massive achievement. The lights are out, and we are racing here at Suzuka.
Everyone's jostling for position into turn 1, that's where the race can be won or lost in the opening seconds.
Bodkin holds the lead, the pole sitter has defended well into the first few corners.
That's an incredible start from an M driver on pole, he's really holding his nerve. He'll be feeling the pressure from behind, but he's doing a brilliant job of managing it so far.
John Boontakis remains in 6th, a solid start for the Greek driver. No change for Boontakis then, still holding P6.
Sometimes the best start is just holding your ground, especially at Suzuka, it's so easy to make a mistake early on.
Adam Tiaz is holding on to second place, pounding the leader. Tiaz is right on Bodkin's gearbox, waiting for an opportunity.
He'll be looking for any slip up. Being second on the first lap isn't bad at all, you just need to keep the pressure on.
Maximilian Turbin holds 11th, no gains or losses so far for him. Turbin still in 11th, with Norton just under a second behind him. Rich Snape in 4th, holding that position well, just 3/10 separating him from Kruger Dorado ahead.
That's a really tight gap. Snake will be looking for a slipstream or a small mistake.
Safety car in this
The
lap.
is intense. You have to be precise.
The gap to Kruger Dorado has just opened up slightly for Snape, now half a second. Alex Udale now on screen, running in 5th, just 4/10 behind Rich Snape.
This midfield battle is really heating up. 4/10 is nothing. He's definitely in range to challenge for that 4th spot.
The gap from Udale to Snape has grown slightly, now half a second.
Get ready, safety car's clear.
Down to Maximilian Turbin in 11th, chasing Philip Koons in 10th, just 4/10 between them.
He's really pushing, trying to get into that top 10. Every position counts, especially this early in the race.
Green, 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 let's go.
Turbin has closed right up on Koons. The gap is down to just 2/10.
He's absolutely flying now. That's how you make up ground. A couple of good corners and suddenly you're right there. I've done that so many times, it feels good when you nail it.
Niall Gagan in 11th, with Fovard right on his tail, a tiny gap of just 1/10 of a second. Huge changes for Gagan. He's dropped dramatically to 14th, while Fovard has shot up to 8th, now over 11 seconds ahead.
Yellow flag, safety car's out.
Moves. He's up to 7th now in the Degner 2 section, just 2/10 behind Constable Berry.
This is what pro drivers do, they don't stay down for long. He's really pushing, closing in fast. That's a good place to be on track. A good run out of Degner 2 sets you up for the spoon curve.
Farquhar is still chasing, but the gap to Constable Berry has opened up slightly to half a second. Rich Snape in 4th, he's now chasing John Buntakis in 3rd, 6/10 the gap. Snape has dropped a position, now in 5th, but he's closed the gap to Buntakis who is still in 3rd, now just 4/10 ahead.
He might have lost a spot, but he's gained on the car ahead. That shows he's got good pace. The position doesn't always tell the whole story.
Thomas Kruger Dorado had moved into 2nd position, just 3/10 behind the leader, Bodkin. The gap from Kruger Dorado to Bodkin has opened up slightly to 6/10. Philip Koons has pulled into the pits, a very early stop for the German driver from 13th. Kruger Dorado is still P2, now 4/10 behind race leader Phil Bodkin.
He's really pushing. That 2 minutes 0 seconds and 9 milliseconds lap time shows good pace. He's chipping away at the lead, which is exactly what we want to do.
Kruger Dorado has closed the gap even further, now just 3/10 to Bodkin. Maximilian Turbin has climbed to 9th, now chasing Dominic Fovard in 8th, just 3/10 separates them.
He's really working to get into that top 8, pushing hard after that early pit stop for Koons. He's found some good pace on this lap.
Turbin's gap to Fovard had opened slightly, now half a second.
He might have pushed a bit too hard in that last sector. Sometimes you give a little to gain a little later. It's a long race.
Alex Udale now in 10th, 4/10 behind Maximilian Turbin. Udale has closed up to Turbin. The gap is now just 0.3. Jareth Hallam in 11th, chasing Alex Udale, 0.4 the difference.
Safety car in this lap.
No change in the gap between Hallam and Udale, still 0.4.
He's keeping the pressure on, that's what you need to do. Even if you're not gaining, you're not losing ground, and that puts mental pressure on the car ahead.
Alex Udale in 10th, closing on Turbin in 9th, just 0.3 between them.
This battle for the top 10 is incredibly close. 0.3 is an easy overtake opportunity if Turbin makes even a tiny mistake.
Get ready, safety car's clear.
The gap from Udale to Turbin has grown by 1/10, now 0.4.
He's trying to get that move done, but Turbin is holding him off for now. It's a game of chess out there.
Elliot Norton in 14th, through the Casio
green,
triangle.
let's go.
He has Philip Kuhn 0.6 behind him. Kuhn has closed right up on Norton. The gap is down to just 0.2.
He's really pushing after that pit stop, trying to make up ground quickly. Norton needs to be aware, he's got a car ride on his bumper now.
Kruger Dorado is right there in the snake section, just 0.2 behind leader Bodkin. The gap from Kruger Dorado to Bodkin has opened slightly to 0.4, but it's still tight at the front.
He's definitely looking for a move, but Bodkin is defending well. This is what we want in the race, a proper battle for the lead.
Rich Snape has climbed to 4th, and he's just a 10th behind Adam Tias for 3rd. Snape has made the move. He's up into 3rd now, with Tias dropping to 5th and 0.6 behind him. Maximilian Turbin has gained another spot, up to 8th, now chasing Fovarg in 7th, just 0.2 apart in the spoon curve.
He's really found his rhythm now, making up places lap after lap. You can feel the confidence building. Spoon curve is a great place to try and get a run on someone.
Turbin has dropped back 1 place to 9th, but he's still only 0.2 behind Fovarg in 7th. Turbin is back up to 8th. He's gained a position again, but the gap to Fovarg has opened to 0.7.
He's made a move, but now he needs to consolidate that position and close the gap back down. 0.7 is a little too much if you're looking for an immediate overtake, but he's got the pace.
John Buntakis is now in 5th, chasing Mac McFarquhar for 4th, just 0.2 between them. Buntakis has dropped a spot to 6th, with McFarquhar pulling away slightly, now 0.7 clear. Huge drama for John Buntakis. He's plummeted down to 13th position, with McFarquhar now 13 seconds ahead.
Something significant has happened there. You don't lose that much time in that many places without an incident. He'll be furious, trying to understand what went wrong.
Jamie Price in 8th, he's just 0.3 behind Maximilian Turbin for 7th.
Price is really pushing, that's a good lap time from an AM driver. He's certainly holding his own in this midfield battle.
The gap from Price to Turbin had opened by 1/10, now 0.4. Rich Snape has powered into 3rd, and he's right on the tail of Bodkin for 2nd, just 0.2 difference in the spoon curve. The gap from Snape to Bodkin has opened slightly to 0.4.
He's still right there, though. 0.4 is nothing at this circuit. One small mistake from Bodkin and Snape will be through. He needs to keep pushing without making a mistake himself.
Philip Coons has climbed to 9th after his early pit stop, now just 2/10 behind Jamie Price.
He's really made up that ground quickly since the pit. That's a good recovery drive. He's got the pace to be higher up.
Coons has made the move. He's now in 8th, just a 10th ahead of Price. Coons has gained another position, now in 7th, with Price dropping to 9th, 3/10 behind. Mac McFarquhar is up to 4th, and he's just 3/10 behind Rich Snape for 3rd.
McFarquhar is a pro driver. He's just set the fastest lap of the race. He's going for that podium spot. You can see his intent with that pace.
The gap from McFarquhar to Snape has grown slightly to half a second.
Snape is defending well, but McFarquhar's pace is undeniable. He'll find a way through if Snape leaves even a small opening.
Maximilian Turbin is now in 6th, just a 10th behind Dominic Bobart for 5th.
He's really pushing for that top 5 position. This is the kind of close racing we love to see, drivers really leaning on each other.
Turbin has made a move. He's up into 5th, now 3/10 clear of Bobart.
Great overtake. That's how you do it, decisive and clean. He's got good momentum now.
Mac McFarquhar is right on the back of Rich Snape, just 2/10 separating them for 3rd. McFarquhar has closed even further, just a 10th now separating him from Snape for 3rd. McFarquhar has done it. He's through into 3rd position, with Snape right on his gearbox. The gap is 0.
That was incredibly close. He must have got the run just perfectly out of the last corner. That takes real precision when you're nose to tail like that.
Mac McFarquhar is now in 3rd, and he's just 2/10 behind Phil Bodkin for 2nd. The gap from McFarquhar to Bodkin has opened by a 10th, now 3/10.
He's made his move for 3rd, and now he's setting his sights on P2. This is classic McFarquhar, always pushing forward.
Philip Coons is up to 5th, just 2/10 behind Maximilian Turbin for 4th.
Coons is flying now. That early pit stop is paying dividends. He's got great pace, and he's right on Turbin's tail.
Coons has dropped a position, now in 6th, with Turbin pulling slightly ahead to 4/10. Elliot Norton has climbed to 8th, now just 2/10 behind Dominic Bobart for 7th. The gap from Norton to Bobart has opened slightly to 3/10. Norton has gained a position, now in 7th, still 3/10 behind Bobart, who is now in 6th.
He's made that overtake stick, but the pressure is still on to keep that gap closed to the car ahead. He's driving really well.
Elliot Norton continues his climb, now in 7th, just 2/10 behind Bobart in 6th.
He's consistent, and that's how you move up the field in these long races. He's got the pace, and he's using it.
The gap from Norton to Bobart has opened up to 4/10.
Bobart is certainly putting up a good fight to hold that position. This battle for P6 and P7 is fantastic.
Maximilian Turbin has climbed into 4th position, now just 3/10 behind Bodkin for 3rd. Turbin has closed even further on Bodkin, the gap now just 2/10.
He's really putting pressure on that 3rd place car. He wants that podium, you can feel it.
This This Suzuka race is truly living up to its reputation for excitement, isn't it? We've seen incredible battles throughout the field.
It really is. This circuit just demands everything from you, lap after lap. You're constantly working the wheel.
Phil Botkin's performance holding the lead as an AM driver has been exceptional, really impressive to watch.
Absolutely, holding a lead like that with pros chasing you is a massive mental game. I've been in that position, it's exhausting.
And the way drivers like McFarquhar are carving through the field, it highlights the depth of talent here.
He's just barreled into the car, hitting all his marks. You have to be so patient here, but also ready to pounce when the smallest opportunity arises.
Elliot Norton has gained another spot, now in 6th, with Botkin right behind him. The gap is 0.
0.0, that's as close as it gets without contact. He must have just edged him out on the last corner or the straight. Incredible racing.
Norton has opened up a significant gap to Botkin, now 8/10 clear. Niall Gagan in 11, trying to close the 7/10 gap to Jarrett Callum in 10th. Gagan has closed the gap to Hallam by 2/10, now half a second. Elliot Norton continues to charge, now in 6th, 3/10 behind Fobart in 5th through the 200R.
He's really picking off the cars ahead. The 200R is a challenging section, you need commitment to gain time there.
The gap from Norton to Fobart has opened to half a second.
He's still in the hunt, but Fobart is holding strong for now. This battle is certainly keeping them honest.
Phil Botkin has dropped further down to 8th, now 3/10 behind Philip Koons. The gap from Botkin to Koons has opened up significantly to a full second.
He's definitely losing pace now. That lead he had earlier, it's just vanished. It's tough when you can't hold on. I've had races like that where the car just starts to go away from you.
Jamie Price has surged into 4th position, setting his personal best lap, now 7/10 behind Maximilian Turbin for 3rd.
What a lap from Price. That's an incredible time from an AM driver. He's really found his rhythm and he's chasing that podium hard.
Price has closed the gap to Turbin even further, now just 4/10.
He's definitely looking for a way past. That's a serious pace he's running. This could be a fight for the final podium spot.
Niall Gagan in 11th, still chasing Hallam in 10th, half a second gap.
He's keeping the pressure on. That's a consistent pace from Gagan.
The gap from Gagan to Hallam has opened to 8/10.
He needs to find a bit more if he wants to make a move soon. That's just enough for Hallam to feel comfortable for a moment.
Jamie Price in 4th, still just 4/10 behind Maximilian Turbin for 3rd. Price has closed the gap to Turbin again, now just 3/10.
He's really persistent. He's not giving up on that podium spot. This is going to be a fascinating battle in the closing minutes.
The intensity of these battles throughout the field is just incredible. We're seeing fights for every single position.
This circuit really brings out the best in drivers, but also the pressure. When you're running nose to tail like this, every steering input has to be perfect.
And with just minutes left on the clock, every 10th of a second is absolutely critical now.
Exactly. You start thinking about fuel, tires, but mostly just pushing right to the limit without overstepping. It's a fine balance.
It's fascinating how some drivers seem to find pace late in the race, while others struggle.
That's often down to how well they've managed their tires, or perhaps they've just hit a sweet spot with the car setup as the fuel load lightens. It can really change the dynamic.
Niall Gagan has moved into 10th, just 3 tenths behind Jareth Hallam in 9th through the Dunlop section. The gap from Gagan to Hallam has opened to half a second.
Hallam is really trying to hold him off there. That's a strong defensive drive from him.
Alex Udale now in 11th, just 2 tenths behind Niall Gagan.
He's just set his personal best, so he's really pushing. This is another tight battle brewing on track.
Udale has made a gain, now in 10th, just 2 tenths behind Gagan, who is now in 8th. Udale has gained another spot, now in 9th, with Gagan right on his tail. The gap is 0. Elliot Norton has dropped down to 10th, now 3 tenths behind Alex Udale in 9th. Norton has gained that position back. He's in 9th now, just a tiny gap to Udale.
He's really fighting for it. That's back and forth racing. You have to be so focused when it's that close. One wrong move and it's over.
Norton has gained another spot, now in 8th, with Udale dropping to 10th, half a second behind.
He's made that move decisively, and now he's got a bit of breathing room. That's a strong drive to recover those positions.
Jamie Price has gained a position, now in 3rd, just 2 tenths behind Maximilian Turbin for 2nd.
He's done it. What a move from Price, getting himself onto that provisional podium. Now can he hold it, and can he challenge Turbin? The gap from Price to Turbin had opened slightly to 4 tenths. Alex Udale now in 9th, just a tenth behind Elliot Norton in 8th. They are really going at it, back and forth. This midfield battle is just as exciting as the front. The gap from Udale to Norton has opened significantly to 8 tenths. Norton has found some pace, or Udale has made a mistake. That's a big jump in gap in such a short time. Jamie Price in 3rd, 3 tenths behind Turbin in 2nd. The gap from Price to Turbin has opened to half a second. Alex Udale now in 9th, 3 tenths behind Elliot Norton for 8th, in the last curve. He'll be looking for a run out of this final corner to try and set up a move on the main straight. This is where he can make up valuable tenths. Huge change for Udale. He's gained a position to 8th, while Norton has dropped dramatically to 12th, now over 14 seconds behind. Elliot Norton has pulled into the pits from 12th position. What an unfortunate time to come in. Jamie Price in 3rd, he's still chasing Turbin in 2nd, 3 tenths between them through the Dunlop. He's keeping them honest, maintaining that gap. If Turbin makes any mistake, Price will be there to capitalize. The gap from Price to Turbin has opened slightly to 4 tenths. Turbin is certainly holding strong, not giving Price an easy path. This is a great defensive drive. Thomas Kruger Dorado has dropped to 6th, now 4 tenths behind Philip Koons in 5th. The gap from Kruger Dorado to Koons has opened further to 6 tenths. He seems to be losing a bit of touch with that top 5, but there's still time to recover, especially with the extra lap at the end. Jamie Price remains in 3rd, 4 tenths behind Turbin in 2nd. He's still got that podium spot for now, but we need to find a bit more to challenge for 2nd. Price has closed the gap to Turbin again, now just 2 tenths.
Thomas Kruger Dorado still in 6th, chasing Coons, 7/10 the gap.
He's trying to make up ground, but Coons is really solidifying his position in the top 5.
The gap from Kruger Dorado to Coons has opened slightly to 8/10. Jamie Price remains in 3rd, just 2/10 behind Maximilian Turbin for 2nd.
This battle for 2nd is going right down to the wire. Price is so close.
Jamie Price has done it. He's moved into 2nd position, with Turbin right on his tail. The gap is 0.
Incredible. What a move from Price, getting onto that 2nd step of the podium. He's been relentless.
Maximilian Turbin has dropped to 3rd, just 2/10 behind Jamie Price.
He won't give up though, 2/10 is nothing. He'll be looking to fight back immediately.
The gap from Turbin to Price has opened up to 6/10, Price pulling away slightly.
Price has consolidated that position for now. That's a strong response to Turbin's pressure.
What a race this is turning out to be. The battle for 2nd place is absolutely enthralling between Price and Turbin.
It's incredible to see Price, an AM driver, not just on the podium but in 2nd, battling with a pro-am. It takes real composure.
He's been so consistent, picking off drivers one by one, and now holding that P2.
That's where the mental strength comes in. You just have to focus on your line, hit your braking points perfectly. It's exhilarating and terrifying at the same time when you're that close.
And with the race winding down, every corner is critical now. No room for error.
None at all. This is when the tires are starting to give up, the fuel load is lower, and you're just pushing to the absolute limit. It's why we love this sport.
Elliot Norton has dropped to 13th, now 3/10 behind David Constable Barry. Norton has gained a position back, now in 12th, with Constable Barry right there. The gap is 0.
He's made that move and held it. Even down in the mid-pack, the racing is incredibly tight. No one is giving an inch.
Maximilian Turbin in 3rd, chasing Jamie Price on the backstretch. 4/10 separates them.
He's still fighting for P2. The backstretch here is crucial. You can get a good tow if you're close enough.
The gap from Turbin to Price has opened up further to 7/10. Dominic Fauvargue is now in 4th, chasing Maximilian Turbin, 8/10 the gap.
He's really putting the hammer down. He's just set his personal best. He's looking to get onto that podium. It's not over yet.
Fauvargue has closed the gap to Turbin by 3/10, now half a second.
He's really found some pace. That's a significant gain in such a short amount of time. Turbin needs to watch his mirrors now.
Philip Coons is in 5th, just 4/10 behind Dominic Fauvargue. Coons has closed up on Fauvargue. The gap is now just 2/10.
He's on fire. He just set the fastest lap of the race. He's absolutely determined to get onto that podium.
Dominic Fauvargue in 4th, with Philip Coons right on his gearbox, just a 10th between them through sprint turn.
This is incredibly tight. Coons is really trying to find a way past. He's got the pace.
Mac McFarquhar is streaking towards the checkered flag, a commanding lead of over 10 seconds to Jamie Price. Mac McFarquhar crosses the line. A sensational victory at Suzuka, from 16th on the grid to the top steps.
What an incredible drive. That's the mark of a true pro driver, carving through the field with such dominance. He really deserved that win.
Jamie Price crosses the line in second. An outstanding performance from the AM-class driver.
Second place from 9th on the grid, that is an absolutely brilliant drive. He showed incredible pace and composure to hold off the Pro-Ams.
Maximilian Turbin takes third place. A well-deserved podium finish after a fantastic race.
Third from 11th, he really had to fight for that one, especially with Price and Fovard pushing him so hard. Great race management.
Dominic Fovard comes across the line in fourth, followed closely by Philip Koons in fifth.
Great drives from both of them, pushing hard right to the end. That midfield was fierce.
And then Thomas Kruger Dorado secures sixth, with Rich Snape rounding out the top seven.
Solid finishes for them, keeping it clean and bringing it home in the points.
Alex Udale finishes 8th, Niall Gagan 9th, Phil Botkin in 10th after his amazing start, and Jarrett Callum in 11th. Adam Tias comes home in 14th, a tough result after starting second.
Yeah, that's a real shame for him after such a promising grid position. Sometimes the race just doesn't go your way, no matter how hard you push.
Elliot Norton finishes in 12th after his late pit stop. David Constable Barry crosses the line in 13th.
He had a good run for a while, just couldn't quite maintain that pace.